We would be honored if you would join us.
So now we're going to take a look at that B grouping in the 2-4-2, or that center grouping, and a different variation of how we can utilize those forwards along with the secondary playmaker behind. In the blue, these are our 4 forwards. Our secondary playmaker in this example is the fullback behind. And so let's take a really quick, brief view of them right now. First, we've made our first triangle between the 4, the 1, and the 3, and then back, right? So that's our first triangle here. Then we actually are able to make a second triangle with this group between the 4, the 5, the 3, and then back to the 4, right? And so with that, you can kind of see with our lines here that we're able to create 2 separate triangles by utilizing only 4 players. If you do notice as well, we're also able to create a diamond here. This can kind of represent our diamond, right? And so this diamond is an additional threat that we'll discuss later on, but the playmaker behind is very, very important. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the different variations and the different options that we have off of this shape.
Yahoo!
So if you take a look here, this is going to be our first option, and this is just our keep. So very simply what's going to happen is the 9 is going to get the ball out to the 10, and the 10 is just going to hit number 4 here, which is the point and the lead of our first triangle. So we've got our triangle between our 4, 1, and 3. That's our first triangle. And he's just going to hit that first man. And all he's going to do is he's just going to keep. So number 4 is going to catch this ball. He's going to keep. He's going to go right into contact. Number 1 is right here. He's going to ruck. Number 3 is right there. He's going to ruck as well. Number 5, if able, he's going to hop in this ruck as well just to secure it. It's not necessary, though. For him, really the primary thing is to make sure that he conserves his energy and he prepares for the next phase. So that's our first and primary option, is just the keep. So let's talk about our secondary option. Secondary option is a plus or a tip call, all that's going to happen is we're going to go 9 to 10. We're going to still hit that 4, which is our lead runner. And this number 3 man right here, he's just going to come in on a nice tight ball. All right, and he's just going to get a small pop from the 4. Boom, just right there. Typically, the defense will come up and they'll be meeting number 4, and when that does happen, this nice tight tip runner, he'll be there to expose the line. If he does break, or when he does break, the expectation is that number 5 is playing as though this tip or this plus call is going to break through every time. So if there's need for an offload or something like that, we want to make sure that number 5 is anticipating the explosion through, so that when number 3 does break through the line, he'll have a support runner. So here we're going to talk about our hit option, just another option, and we're going to call it hit. What's going to happen is we're going to go from 9 to 10 to our lead runner, number 4, and then we're going to hit number 5. Now what's important is that this is an early pass from number 4, and number 5 is pretty flat against the line, right? And so really what number 4 is going to do is he's going to catch, and he's going to shift that ball as quickly as possible. What's also important is that number 3 is still vocal, and he's still running a legitimate line with his hands up. He's animated. But this pass is actually in front of number 3. So number 3 is acting and sounding, and his body language is as though he's going to get a plus call, but he's not. This ball is actually going to go in front of number 3, and he's going to hit number 5. Now what's really important is that number 3 is animated with his hands up, but if number 5 gets the ball and he breaks, the expectation is that number 3 is able to get there for support, for offloading, and definitely for rucking, right? So once number 3 makes this animated run and the ball goes across his face, his line doesn't stop. he continues, he keeps going, and if number 5 does break, then he's there for support, and then eventually, if he does get number 5 does get tackled, then he's there to ruck as well. If you notice, we've got some defenders up here. The reason that this hit is so important is that eventually we'll have defenders coming up here trying to guard number 4. All right, guard number 3, just like that, and so they will be defending there, right? And so that's why it's so important for number 3 to still have his hands up and him to still be vocally and physically animated. And then that way, once that does happen, this ball will go straight out here to number 5, and then number 5 will be able to attack these defenders or this space up here that's not being attacked as much by the defense. So again, this is our hit call. Our next option is actually our minus option. So that's going to be from number 9 to 10 to number 4. We're going to still hit that lead runner. And then we're actually going to come back inside, and we're going to hit number 1 coming in here, coming in on a crash ball, right? And so, again, often defenders will come on up, right? And they're going to come up, they're going to guard number 4. They're going to guard number 3. The number 1 or the minus, this is a minus call. This is a less used option, but it is used to make sure that defenders stay honest and they stay true, and that these guys on the inside here, they also have to make sure that they come up to protect that inside guard as well. And so this is our minus call. We go from our 9 to our 10 to our lead runner number 4, and then it's just a small pop pass from the 4 to number 1 crashing on the inside. That is our minus call. So here we're going to talk about another option, which is our bump. This is our bump option, and this bump option is very, very important to that 2-4-2 setup. What you'll often see with the 2-4-2 is that with our group here, we've got a couple different options. Each one of them is a threat on every play. And so you have your defenders here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 4 defenders here that are coming up to meet these guys. If you look out here, these guys frequently won't come up as equally, right? They won't come up as much. There will be a gap. There will be an overload or something like that. And so what you'll see is that they'll almost get lazy and they'll stay on the defensive line and they won't come up, right? And so in order to make sure that we can pressure them, what we'll do is this. We'll run our bump. So we go from 9 to 10 straight to that lead runner here, right? And so what's going to happen is this number 3 is going to run his dummy plus line, right? He's going to run a plus line. He's not going to get the ball, but he's still running the same way. Number 5 is running as though he's going to get a hit, right? He's not going to get the ball, but he's still running as though he is, okay? And same thing with number 1, right? We're all animated vocally and physically, which is very, very important. So after number 3, number 5, and number 1 have all run through with their dummy lines, what's going to happen is this 15 is coming around the corner, right? Boom. And just like that, all right, number 4 is going to make this small little shift pass, right, to number 15 coming around the corner here, okay? What very often happens is we've got so many options with our forward pack here. We'll have defenders coming up to meet these guys here, okay? But these defenders on the edge, they'll get lazy and they'll stay on the line, or at the very least, they won't be expecting us to go wide, right? And so if we're able to hit this bump, right, we're able to hit the 4 to the 15 coming around the corner. This 15 is going to come around the corner, and he's going to attack, he's going to attack all of this space right here. And if he's able to do that, he's able to engage these 2 defenders, or this defender here, right? We've got lots of space out wide, and we've got numbers out wide for players to attack space out here, and defenders defending it that weren't prepared for it, right? So this is our bump call. What's really important is that this 15 catches this ball while moving. He doesn't need to be at full pace. He doesn't need to be at 100% sprint. But if he's at a controlled 60 or 70%, that is fantastic. That's really where we want him, right? So that way he can attack this space here at pace with speed, but also he's controlled so that when he's ready, he can dish it out and distribute to the rest of our attacking line. So what do you think of this core group system in our B channel with our 4 forwards and our secondary playmaker behind. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if there's a different attacking system or defensive system or counter-attacking system that you would like me to take a look at, go ahead and drop that in the comments as well, and I'll go ahead and I'll make a video on it.
You know, sometimes I amaze even myself.
Hey, you very good. See you next time.